Hello everyone, my name is Shanae, and I know it's been a while, but I am starting back my podcast with the SimplyShanae show. So I'll be posting more videos on SoundCloud and hopefully uploading some videos to YouTube, as well as to Facebook and to my blog page. But this first episode or segment, I guess you can call it, is a little bit unique. I'm here with my sister Ebony. Hi. And my mom, Patricia.
Hey.
And we just wanted to kind of discuss or do like a reaction video to the Red Table Talk that has been trending off the chain since it started last week. The second episode, so basically that's the Facebook Watch show that's coming on Facebook just recently, and it's Jada Pinkett Smith, her daughter Willow, and her mom Adrian, and they basically sit around a red table and they talk about anything that's going on in their lives, any kind of issues just with society, today, the country, the state of the country, anything really that's going on in their lives. They're sitting around a table and they're discussing, and so it kind of inspired us, especially the most recent episode. So their second episode aired today, and they were just talking about surviving loss, and so that inspired us to sit down, and all three of us watched it together, and we just wanted to share our reaction and share maybe even some experiences that we've gone through where we can kind of relate to what they were talking about. So just to start out, what did y'all think about the episode, or just in general Red Table Talk? The whole concept is kind of new. Facebook Watch as a whole is kind of new. I know for a while people have been posting videos and different things on Facebook, but to have kind of like a separate section just solely for these different kind of similar to like visual podcasts, where whether you're a celebrity or a regular person, you can have this avenue where you can post different content, and most of it's like good quality. It's not just like some random video on YouTube. It's actually great content that people can watch and they can reflect with you and interact with you. So what do y'all think about Red Table Talk as a whole and what Jada and her daughter and her mom are trying to do?
Well, I think it's kind of cool. I like the whole concept. I love the whole idea of the red table as the focal point. Just that glossy red table as a focal point. It just brings everything together. Yeah. And I like that it's three generations. Mm-hmm. So you get the perspective from not only the mom, but you get the perspective from the grandma, and then you get the perspective from the daughter.
Right.
And everyone is coming from a different place, a different era, and I think it's kind of cool, and they all respect one another. Mm-hmm. So that's out there on the table, and as you said, it is what's trending, but it's hot, and so it's like
and it's honest.
Yeah, and it's brutally honest.
Yeah.
Like it's I like the idea that they're keeping it real,
mm-hmm.
and they definitely represented Baltimore. So
yeah, Baltimore girls.
They definitely represented Baltimore. So that's kind of cool from our perspective.
Yeah, it's like another level of relating to them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's like home. Like,
yeah, it's like home.
That's how we talk.
Yeah.
Like just sharing our different experiences and the things that we're going through, and that's how they sit there and talk.
Yeah.
It's like not Hollywood anymore. She right back.
Right.
At BSA and
right.
Yeah.
And we're not at the red table at home. We're sitting on the couch. And
right.
We're sitting, we're all piled up in the bed, and we're having these discussions late at night. But the relatability is what's there, and I think that's kind of cool.
Definitely. Evie, what did you think?
I think it was very eye-opening because it's like a very positive thing, just seeing like African American women talking about experiences, because you don't really see that a lot now. Like mostly if you see African American woman, it's probably on some reality TV show and she's going through
mm-hmm.
something
and
it's really fake,
mm-hmm.
and that Red Table was just really real, and it was a nice experience.
Before this, were you a fan of Willow?
Yes.
So how was that, seeing her you know, I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised to see how mature she
Right.
was,
Mm-hmm.
how well spoken she was.
Very well
like,
spoken.
you know,
But
you
you
remember her
definitely
from
tell
With My Hair, you
she's
know?
a product of her environment.
Yeah.
She's definitely a product of her environment. She's very mature.
They've groomed her well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, you know, in the tabloids, and that's how you know you can't always listen to the media, because they try to make it seem like Will and Jada have raised these kids just like wild animals. They're free to do whatever they want to do, like no home training. But from just seeing these first 2 episodes, you can really tell that Jada and Will have made an effort
Right. They've invested in
to not only invest in them as, you know, possible artists in their own right, but as individuals, people that can actually contribute to society in a positive way. Like, she was so deep.
Yeah.
So deep. So, this particular episode, they were discussing surviving loss. And, you know, I don't know if you all have seen it yet, but I really encourage you to check it out. Both episodes. The first one was about motherhood and her co-parenting with Will's ex-wife. And then this episode was about surviving loss. And it was so real because as they're getting ready, she gets a call letting her know that a friend of hers has passed away from brain cancer. And so you see, you know, the results of loss. You see that impact. You see, you know, a raw reaction to her losing a friend. And so that was just interesting just to kind of start out that way. And then they come to the red table, and of course she discusses, you know, her friendship with Tupac and how his death impacted her, and you know, just in general, all 3 of them share different times in their lives where loss has really impacted them and how they dealt with it and how they, you know, either struggled with it or pushed themselves to move on from it. So what did y'all think about the episode? It was pretty heavy.
It was very heavy.
And you recently lost a friend.
Right. So, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard talking about it right now because it is so fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, when she got the call, just so many things just started flowing in my mind from the last couple of weeks. And just how precious life really is. And
the whole point about her saying that she had thought about her and she had meant to reach out to her or give her a call,
right.
And now she's gone and she can't.
And it's so crazy because we think like that all the time.
All the time.
Oh, you know, I haven't talked to such and such in a long time, so let me give him a call. But because life is so busy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so busy, we don't get a chance. We don't get a chance to get that person a call. And before you know it, you know that person is gone. And I know for you know, death is a part of life, but when it's a tragedy, it's just it hurts in a different way. So I think okay.
I covered my mouth.
I think that's the hardest part about the recent loss that we've experienced. Because a lot of times, you know, like Jada, it was her friend, and so sometimes, you know, a lot of times, some of your friends are closer to you than your own family.
Absolutely.
So when you lose certain people, it's like, God, that's my family.
That's
I
a
just
part of me.
lost. Yeah, that's a part of me that's just in the recent loss that we just had as a family. It hit so personally, and it was hard. You know, I'm trying to be there for my bestie, but I can't be there for my bestie because
You're mourning
I'm
yourself.
mourning too. And so it's just like of all the losses or all the deaths that I've experienced, this is the first one where it was tragic, but that it really hit. It was hard. It was like so very hard because this is a person that you've connected to at another level. You see this person as a big sister. You know, you've been accepted into this family. Now you have this new family, and this family is not just your family, but your kids' family. And it's like we're all one big happy family now. And now we've been hit as a family.
Right.
We're not being hit as we lost a friend. We've been hit like we lost a family member. I lost a big sister. You guys lost an aunt. You know, so that was very hard, and this just brought up all the feelings and the emotions, and it just make you want to tell people every day, like, I love you, and you need to appreciate the people that are in your lives every day, because none of us are promised tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And especially when it's like circumstances where it's so unexpected.
Right.
Or, you know, like when someone's sick, you know, when Uncle Bernard was here, like,
Right.
that was hard,
Right.
but at least it was like, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's the end game.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know, he had cancer, so he came and stayed with us for his last 3 months of his life, and we were here with him, and, you know, going through chemo and all of that, like all his treatment, he was living with us. So it was like we had that time to kind of create those last few moments before he was gone, to kind of say goodbye, you know, like to enjoy those last few moments with him before he left. And so it doesn't make it easier. You know, it's still hard, but it's like at least I can kind of brace myself for the impact of it. Whereas when it's something so sudden, and especially if it's like really tragic or unexpected, that's a little bit harder to kind of, you know, deal with, because it's just like you never thought that life would be taken, or that person would be removed from your life so suddenly and abruptly, and, you know, it's just like a harder shock to kind of deal with.
Right.
But yeah, Ebony, what did you think? I know you're a little bit younger, but that's why I appreciated it, because Willow is pretty much your same age, and they gave her a chance to share, you know, what was a big loss for her in her life. And a lot of times people kind of underestimate younger people and think that they can't go through hard trials or, you know, hard things in their lives, and they definitely can. Like, you go through loss, you go through stress, you go through things that me and mommy can go through just as easily. So what did you think about the topic or anything that any of them shared?
I mean, the topic really did hit close to home, because I feel like I lost the ability to be happy after like middle school, when I started getting bullied, because you're telling me all this stuff about myself that now when I look in the mirror, I don't see what I used to see. I see what you told me that I need to see or whatever. So I feel like what Willow was talking about was really relatable and stuff, of being like, who are you? Where am I in my life? Like, is this all that it's going to be? And I definitely went through a lot of very, very dark times when I thought, like, did I really need to be here? And yeah, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And I like Jada, it was hard seeing you go through that stuff. But I appreciate that you shared that stuff with me.
Absolutely.
Like, that was the best part about it, because even though I knew that was a journey you had to go through on your own, I was like, okay, let me still be a support. And as a mom, as what I do for a living, it was like, I can't even help my own child. But that's when I realized, you know what, I need to step back and let somebody else help, because I'm too close to it.
Right.
But I appreciate that through it all, you were very open about it, and I mean, very open about it. And so we like had to go through this journey with you together, even though there were times when you had to go through that journey by yourself, because that's what life brings us.
Definitely a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then when you find yourself sliding back into that dark, you're like, ooh, let me get back. I can't go back there because I didn't like it when I was there. So that was kind of cool, just, and I saw the growth in you. Like, that was the best part. Like, you fought. You had to fight, and we had to fight. I remember this. I remember times you just sit there crying and praying and like, God help my baby, I can't see.
And it's scary, because
it's very scary.
You want to help. You want to be
Right.
like the savior. You want to help them, save them, but some situations people just have to go through on their own.
Right. You have to do.
And no matter how much you, and it's so funny because like you always told me that, and you know, Ebony's obviously my sister, not my child, but I'm the big sister, so you know, I kind of got like a little taste of it. Nothing like what you could do as a mom, but I got a little taste of just feeling like I want to help her. Like I either want to give her tough love and shake her, or I want to just hold her like when she was a little baby. You know, you go through those times where it's just like, what can I do to make it a little bit easier for you?
Right.
Because I have an idea of what you're going through. You know, like I feel your pain, and I don't want you to feel like, you know, this is something that you have to deal with on your own. You know, it was interesting seeing like Jada's reaction, because according to them, Willow had no idea. I mean, Jada had no idea that Willow was cutting herself, and so just to find that out, you know, like on the
casual conversation,
like during the recording, it's like what? And she probably wanted to be like, cut, like, what in the world? But, you know, that's real. Like, that is real life. And you just never know what people are going through. Right. You never know what people are going through. You never know how people are choosing to cope. Right. Because life is so freaking hard. Right. It's so hard. And the different chapters of your life are hard. You know, not one chapter is any harder than the next. You know what I mean? Like I can't sit here and say me in my late 20s is so much harder than Ebony in her high school years. Because high school years are hard as heck too. So every chapter of your life is just so hard. And it's just learning how to deal with the hard times. Learning how to deal with the loss. Like they said, surviving loss. Just learning how to cope in a healthy way, and not in a way that's going to be self-harming or, you know, just depressing or anything like that. You know, like we're just so scared of therapy and stuff like that, but that stuff is helpful. Like it's necessary for a lot of people, and there's nothing to be ashamed of if that's something that you need to do. There's nothing to be ashamed of, you know, if you're taking medication in a healthy dose. You know what I'm saying? Like to just balance yourself.
I feel like you have to go through an unhealthy coping method to realize that you need to find a healthy coping method.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they said. They said sometimes you have to go through pain in order to grow.
Right.
Sometimes you have to hit some kind of rock bottom, or, you know, like that moment.
That aha
epiphany.
moment.
Yeah, like
aha.
Is that the word? Epiphany? Yes. Epiphany, yeah. You know, that moment where it's just like, wow. Yeah. Now I get it.
But what I think is that I think for us as well is it's brought us closer together.
Definitely.
Like, especially I know like you two, there was a period where y'all had this love relationship where Emily was small, that Emily started talking, and then y'all went through this little hate relationship.
Put it back where you got it from.
And then now y'all back at this love relationship. So it's kind of cool to see how the two of you have grown together. And then, you know, just us as a family, how when we've all had losses in different ways, whether it's a loss of self-esteem, or it's a loss of who you are, or whether it's a loss of a death, or a loss in a relationship. Dynamic. Yeah, you know, there's a loss, and when that loss happens, you gotta kind of you gotta know where to hold or know where to fold. You gotta know what is my next step, or am I going to let this destroy who I am? And so I think over the last few years, in all the losses that we've had as a family, especially in our family dynamic, how it has forced us to come closer and to even have healthier relationships with one another. Not saying we're just perfect, but in comparison, our relationships are much healthier together. And so with that pain, there does come growth. Mm-hmm. With that pain, we've grown as a family. We've grown in who we are. And we've had to step up our game. We've stepped up our game. We're being in each other's lives, you know. So like when I'm like, I don't know what else to say or how to help Emily. Nay, I need you, you know. Or when it comes to your brother, you know, your brother's having a hard time. you know, I need you. So everybody stepped up, and so that loss that we all may have been feeling, we filled that void with something more positive, and it just made us healthier, and as a result, we became happier in different areas of our lives. We could laugh now, and you know, we could talk about hard stuff now, and so that pain produced a lot of growth. It brought a lot of growth, and it was growth that was needed, but we didn't know we needed that growth at the time.
Right.
But it definitely brought growth.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Well, I definitely appreciated the episode so much. I appreciated the way in which it encouraged our dialogue. Just to be able to sit down and watch it together, to be able to say, oh wow, yes, I definitely relate to that, or you know, like, wow, that's a really good point, like I could apply that to my way of, you know, handling loss or handling just hard times in life, or seeing someone that's gone through similar things that you've gone through and seeing them at the other end of it. You know, how she's pushed through that, and you know, you could just see that maturity in Willow, like whatever she's gone through. And you know, people just assume like these rich kids, and oh, her parents are Will and Jada Smith, she got it made in the shade. Like, no, you don't realize what people could be going through. You don't realize, even though physically, you know, monetarily it might look like she has it all good, but that's a hard life to grow up in Hollywood. So, you know, it was just really great to see their perspectives and relate them to our family and some of the things that we've gone through. We definitely identify with it in a lot of different ways. And I'm looking forward to seeing some other episodes, you know, in the future, and us watching them together, because it's great. It's really great. It's refreshing. It's so honest, and it's necessary nowadays. You know, everybody's on Facebook anyway, so it's like you might as well watch something that's healthy and productive and could, you know, provoke a lot of great conversation that needs to be had. So thank y'all for the show. We love it.